There we have it. Welcome back to Big Board. So yeah, no map this time. What's up with that? Here's what's up. Friday afternoon, went to what ended up being a long lunch, and a lunch that involved wine. And funnily enough, while discussing various world events, my friend happens to be Israeli, and I kind of got into it a little bit, but it got me thinking, just in general, about, I mentioned this video earlier on, about expectations, but then the other topic on my mind at the moment has been completeness of a game when it's released, and we were talking about that whole pager, the what was it called, Project Beeper or something like that. All those nasty Hezbollah chappies got their fingers and other bits kind of messed up a little bit by sort of a sudden attack. And how does that relate to completeness of a game? Well, I think that project or that mission or that event that occurred was sort of part of an overall plan, but it wasn't the whole plan. And I think in some regards, and this is just me spitballing, right? In some regards, it was kind of like, well, shit, we need to go now or not at all, so let's go now. And we'll get who we get, and it is what it is. Because now we see Israel's about to potentially invade Lebanon to clear the area so that the Israeli residents can move back into their homes, about 80,000 people. Right or wrong, don't know, don't really want to get into the whole politics of it, but my point about that was we were having this conversation about that sort of incomplete effort and it's sort of stop, start, push me, pull you thing, and I'm looking at games and I'm thinking some of the same things. I look at the Next War series and I go, wow, we've got a base system that demonstrates clearly how, from the designer's perspective, built on Gene's view of Next War Korea, and certainly went much deeper and broader. But Mitch Lamb built a comprehensive system of what he believes, based on his experience in the military and his interactions with the military, how future modern war might look. And it's a complete system. It's not the be-all and end-all of detail, right? There are some certain number of abstractions, is what it is. You either like it or you don't. That's all good. And then I go, well, that's really cool. That's a complete system. I look at OCS and TCS and BCS. Although BCS is not a complete system yet, because it's still evolving in my mind. I think we've stretched the credibility of the system in Panzer's Last Stand, despite the fact that everyone will say it's fabulous. There's also a lot of people say that that is as far as the system could go, given the rules changes and things that they did to accommodate that particular battle. So that's interesting in of itself. But certainly OCS and TCS are complete systems. They've been around for a long time. They're fundamentally secured and locked down, and the wording is precise and clear, and you can pick that game up, read the rules. You may not know how to play or how to play well, but you will be able to play if you just follow a sequence of play and look shit up, right? You can do that. And I think there's a lot of benefit to that. And I also reference, obviously Lock and Load, but Lock and Load Tactical, Lock and Load World at War, ASL, Combat Commander. What a fantastic rule set that is. That's a complete system. Contrast that to the last 100 yards. While I enjoy that system, that is a system that is still evolving, and that can turn some people off because you kind of this is how it worked. No, it doesn't work that way. I found that with BCS. There was a lot of tweaking that went on with BCS from V1 last Blitzkrieg to today's Yom Kippur War or whatever it's called. It's here somewhere. I can't remember the name of it. Anyway, why Kevin? Why the video? I'm playing, so to get to my point, I'm playing Eilau 1807, and you know, and I'm digging in with a couple of the guys that are guiding the rules and helping clarify the rules, taking it from one language to another language and tightening up the language and the rules. And I'm sending in my little tidbits and here and there. And you know, yeah, a lot of times they're just like, "Hey, dumbass, go read this rule here," because that's where the rule is, Kevin. Stupid. Lots of that. No great shakes there. But as I'm playing, I'm finding out that system, let's call it a system, it's the first module, and I'm certainly excited to get my hands on Quattrobra when it comes out. It's not finished yet, and it's evolving. And as I mentioned in my expectations video, you know, we need to give new designers and new publishing houses the opportunity to evolve. And sometimes that means we pay, which wasn't actually an expensive game for what you got in the box, for goodness sake. You pay $70 or $100 for a game, and you know they're heading towards 1.5 of the rules. Good that they're supporting it, good that they're deep into it, and good that it's evolving. Disappointing that whoever was helping doing the playtesting originally was either A, not brave enough, or B, not smart enough to work out that there were issues. And this is the problem, I think, and this is not just Uwe's problem. This is in general, and I will look at, okay, let's call a spade a spade. So Adam Starkweather is the great example here. Adam has his tight circle of friends who love everything he does, and they don't question anything, or if they do, it's modest. And they, and Adam will verbalize how to play, and people will go, "Oh, okay, that makes sense." And then when the rules are written, it has nothing to do with the fucking game that comes out. Let alone all the bullshit that goes on with the publishing of his titles. What a mess. So, not that. This is different. This is an evolution of a system that should have been tested better. And that doesn't detract from the beauty of the game, and it doesn't detract actually from the gameplay. The gameplay is pretty nice. I like it. But what I'm finding is that there's some things that are missing that are coming. And the reason why part of the reason why I'm doing this video is to say that I'm probably going to pause play at the 1 p.m. turn, because this reaction fire thing that's mentioned in Rule 19 and mentioned in Rule 21.1, it's not there. There's no reaction fire rule. There's no verbiage to describe how it works. Are there any modifiers for it? Anything. It just says reaction fire. There's no mention of reaction fire in the sequence of play. Just says do reaction fire. Well, so let's not like kick the horse on that thing, because like I said, I want to have some grace with this new publisher. And I think they're onto something that's at that simpler level, but highly thematic Napoleonic game. So that's one reason why I'm pausing. The other reason why I'm pausing is that I'm finding, we're at the 1 p.m. turn, and let's say I think one side started with 220 AFPs, Army Fatigue Points, and the other one started with 210, I think it was. And we're now down to both, the one's at 151 and one's at 154 or 155. And so it's very tight game. So that's awesome, but it's highly attritional here, and I think there's some tweaking that needs to happen with the regroup rule. When you regroup, for instance, you can you don't get to fire, you don't get to move, or any of that sort of stuff. But you get at the end of the turn, you get an AFP back, and you get a step back on your units. I'm just going to double check that and make sure that I am not talking out my hiney yet one more time. Regroup. May not move, may not fire at the end of the activation phase. Each unit, yes, in the division regains 1 SP. Right. So here's the problem: if I'm the attacker and I'm attacking a regrouping formation, I can push them back, and they have to retreat. Therefore, they moved. But they also, and I can inflict losses on them. I can inflict 3 points of losses on them, and at the end of the turn, they're automatically going to get one back. You know, that doesn't strike me as right. I think if you're regrouping, that means you're out of the action, and you should be back. Maybe you've moved back. Maybe you've retired first or something. There's a retire order here. I haven't used it yet, so I don't really care how it works or know how it works. But maybe that needs to be linked to regrouping, so that you get this consistency. Because I don't want to attack some dude, and then at the end of it, I knock. Let's say I attack him once. I knock a point off. Well, he gets it back at the end of the turn. So I've done nothing other than make him retreat 4 hexes or 4 movement points or whatever it is. So that is giving me pause, and without the reaction fire, kind of reaction opportunity fire thing, without that, I don't get a second shot at those guys as they're retreating, right? As they're retreating, I should get a shot at them. Boom. Put another step on them, maybe make them retreat further. I don't know. And now I'm making shit up. So, completeness of systems and completeness of games relies very heavily on designer and obviously playtesting and all the rest of it. It goes without saying. But I think that drives our value we get out of these games. And right now, I'm feeling like I've had a lot of fun with what I have done. I have been fascinated by the battle. And I'm fascinated by the simplicity of the system that evokes enough narrative and enough theme. I've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 7 pages of notes here on gameplay. That generally that's an indication to me that the game warrants attention and is valuable to me. If it's some half-assed piece of bullshit, I don't write up notes. I just write up the flaws and I slap a video out and we're done with it, right? So where am I? What am I coming to? What am I trying to get across here? And why should you continue to listen at the 12-minute and 23-second, 24-second mark? I think there's a obligation on both parties of the designer and of ourselves to meet somewhere in the middle. I know there's a lot of folks that say, well, there shouldn't be errata and it should be completely tested and all the rest of it. I get that. I think I would hold Mark Simonich and Dean Esick, God rest his soul, to a much higher standard for flaws in the systems or in the games than I would a newer designer or a newer publishing house who's making an effort, right? Vento Nuovo Games is another great example, block game manufacturer, publisher. They do great stuff. They had to go through some iterations with a couple of their game systems, and it took some time. And I still think that there's lots of potential there, and they've released mini series of games that are fabulous, and I'd highly encourage you to go check them all out, right? But I think it's incumbent upon both of us to sort of work out how much effort am I prepared to put into a game and a game system, and how much effort are you going to put in, Mr. Publisher, Mr. Designer Guy, after you publish the game. What are you going to do to support it and evolve it and keep it going so that it does become a long-term system that's OCS or a TCS or a BCS or a ASL or whatever, pick a freaking system. One of Zucker's Napoleonic Library of Battles or the 1X, 2X, 5X systems. They're all pretty interesting game systems. Eagles Rising. I'm talking about a lot of Napoleonics, but Combat Commander, all that sort of stuff. What it takes more than just publishing the game and then and spitting out some errata. It takes a commitment, both from the user community, because we're a small community, right, and from the publisher to work together to make the system better. I think is what I'm trying to say here, is make the system better for all of us, so that the new guys that come along, the newbies that go, oh, well, I found this game and it was published 10 years ago or 8 years ago or 7 years ago, and you get it and you get all the errata and everything, and you go, wow, this is freaking awesome, right? And you go, look, and there's 5 more titles because everybody worked together. I don't think we need 100 playtesters to smash a game to pieces and break it and get every single freaking edge case done. I don't think that's what I'm looking for, because that just adds, well, I'm not going to mention, I've beaten that horse enough. There are rule books then that will come out that are too much, and we just need to find that happy medium, a clarity of language, conciseness of word usage, and understanding that what I'm saying is what I mean, and then for the player to do exactly what the rule says, not what they think the rule says. Anyway, it's Friday afternoon. I had a glass of wine with lunch. I'm probably going to make a cocktail in a little bit. I don't know what time it is now. Is it 4 o'clock yet? No, it's only 3:30. So in half an hour, we'll have a cocktail, and I'm going to go pack this thing up. I think I'm probably going to finish the 1 p.m. turn and see where we all end up for Eilau 1807, and then we have a big decision to make, because I'm kind of leaning towards getting Sacred Oil out and playing the campaign for that, or a larger scenario for that. But my heart here is saying you haven't finished playing with the last gamble, because you had to interrupt a gameplay because I got sick when I was playing it. So maybe there's an opportunity here for me to put that on the table. And there's a particular scenario that I'd like to play there that if I do it, I'll share it with you. The other thing is, though, I have some other titles that I need to get to, just like 300 or 400, but we'll get to them. All right, all the best. Hang in there, roll dice. It's Friday. Have a great weekend. Don't wait to play. Go play.